Oh, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome to our little corner of the internet. I just recently reacted to a Florida video and I saw this on my feed. It's called 18 Florida Facts You'll Never Forget. So I think this could be a good kind of learning session for me about Florida. So let's see what this video is about.
Florida. Most people hear the name and think theme parks, beaches, and maybe some questionable headlines. Just another sunny vacation state, right? Wrong. Because Florida is geographically one of the most insane states in America. It's the flattest state in the nation, with an average elevation of just 100 feet above sea level. It has more coastline than any state except Alaska. 1,350 miles of beaches, swamps, and barrier islands. And it's home to the only place on Earth where alligators and crocodiles coexist in the wild. This isn't just Disney World and retirement communities. It's a state that's technically still emerging from the ocean.
Is Disney World in Florida? I don't know. When I think of Florida, I do think of crocodiles. And also, I just think of the Florida man thing. Like, everybody's always like, Florida man this, Florida man that, you know? I've heard some very curious things about people in Florida. But I didn't know that Disneyland was there. I think I knew that. I mean, we watched the video on Disneyland as well. But my geographic knowledge of America is still a bit blurry.
Where sinkholes swallow entire houses overnight, and where a river flows so slowly you can't tell which direction it's moving. Today, we're counting down 18 facts about Florida, and by fact number 1, you'll understand why Florida is geographically unlike any other state in America, and how this flat, swampy peninsula became one of the most populated states in the country. And hey, before we dive in, be sure to subscribe and leave a like so you don't miss more wild geography from across the world. Number 18. It's the flattest state in America. Florida's highest natural point is Britton Hill at just 345 feet above sea level, the lowest high point of any U.S. state. That's about the height of a 30-story building. Delaware's highest point is 448 feet. Louisiana's is 535 feet. Florida is flatter than both. If you stand at Britton Hill, you're technically at Florida's mountain summit, which...
That's actually wild. Finland is very flat too. There's not, like, you can't see mountains or anything. In Spain, you can see mountains everywhere. But in Finland, not so much. It's pretty flat too. But there's no, like, beaches like in Florida or anything like that.
is
And no crocodiles for sure.
shorter than most highway overpasses. Number 17. The state is still geologically rising. Florida is still geologically young and literally still rising out of the ocean. The limestone bedrock absorbs water and gradually builds up sediment, causing the peninsula to expand. Scientists estimate Florida grows about 6 inches vertically every century. You're actually standing on land that's actively being created. Number 16. Lake Okeechobee is...
I wonder what it will look like in like 200 years.
Florida's largest natural lake. Lake Okeechobee is Florida's largest natural lake, covering 730 square miles, roughly half the size of Rhode Island. The Seminole people call it Okeechobee, meaning big water. They weren't exaggerating. It's the second largest freshwater lake entirely within the United States after Lake Michigan. The lake sits at an average depth of just 9 feet, making it a massive shallow inland sea. Number 15. Sinkholes swallow houses, cars, and entire streets. Florida sits on
Oof. I wonder, like, why do sinkholes happen? I think I said in another video too that, like, where does it end? Like, if the sinkholes just keep sinking, where does it go? And why do they happen?
porous limestone bedrock riddled with underground cavities. When these collapse, they create sinkholes, some large enough to swallow buildings.
Oh, that's horrifying.
In 2013, a sinkhole opened beneath a house in Sefner and killed a man sleeping in his bedroom. His body was never recovered. The ground beneath Florida is literally Swiss cheese. Number 14. The Everglades is a river that flows half a mile per day. The Everglades isn't technically
I don't know if I'm ready to move on from that.
a river that flows half a mile per day. The Everglades isn't technically a swamp. It's a river, but it moves so slowly you can't see it flow. Water travels from Lake Okeechobee south to Florida Bay at roughly half a mile per day. It's 60 miles wide, 6 inches deep, and known as the River of Grass. Stand in the Florida Everglades and you're wading through the slowest moving river on Earth. And the geography weirdness is just getting started. Number 13. It's the lightning capital of the United States. Florida experiences more lightning strikes than any other state. Roughly 1.4 million strikes annually. That's about 25 strikes per square mile every year.
Does that mean it rains a lot in Florida? No, right? I've always imagined Florida like very sunny. But yeah, that's crazy. Sinkholes and lightnings. The weather in America in some places is just wild. Wild. I mean, sometimes here there's like a little storm. I'm like, oh, there was a huge storm this year. And then I watch a video like this and I'm like, excuse me, I haven't seen nothing.
The humid air, sea breezes, and afternoon thunderstorms create perfect conditions for electrical storms. If you live in Florida,
What is an electrical storm? This is exactly what I mean. What even is that? That sounds deadly.
you're statistically more likely to be struck by lightning than almost anywhere else in America. Number 12. Wild monkeys live in Silver Springs State Park. In the 1930s, a tour boat operator released 6 rhesus macaque monkeys onto an island in Silver Springs to attract tourists. The monkeys swam to the mainland and have been breeding ever since. Today, over 300 wild monkeys roam Central Florida. They're not native, they're not supposed to be here, but they're thriving. Florida has wild monkeys, and nobody seems bothered by it.
That's actually so wild how humans can like change the wildlife of a place. Deer and like reindeer and well, not reindeer, but deer in general, like Bambi type deer in Finland is very typical. Like you can see them all around Finland. And only last summer I learned that they're actually not native to Finland. Like someone brought them to Finland, which is to me was absolutely wild because that's like one of the most common animals you'll see there. Hello, like someone exactly brought like 6 or 8 of them and then they just spread around all Finland. And now it's like it was nearly impossible to believe that they're not native to Finland.
Number 11. The Keys are connected by 42 bridges. The Florida Keys stretch 120 miles from the southern tip of Florida into the Gulf of Mexico. The overseas highway connects the islands with 42 bridges, the longest being the 7-mile bridge. You're driving over open ocean for miles at a time. One wrong turn, and you're swimming. That's not a highway. That's a waterborne road trip. Number 10. It has more golf courses than any other state. Florida has over 1,250 golf courses,
How big is Florida?
more than any other state in America. That's more courses than Scotland, the birthplace of golf. With year-round warm weather and flat terrain, Florida became the ultimate golfing destination. Nearly 9% of the state's land is dedicated to golf courses. That's roughly the size of Delaware. Number 9. The St. Johns River flows north. Most rivers in North America flow south. The St. Johns River flows north. one of the few rivers in the U.S. to do so. It travels 310 miles from south to north, defying gravity thanks to the state's incredibly flat terrain and minimal elevation change. Stand on the banks and watch the water flow the wrong way. Now, before we get to the top 8 facts that prove why Florida is geographically unlike any other state, remember to subscribe and hit that bell. These final facts will blow your mind. Number 8. Alligators and crocodiles coexist only here. Florida is the only place on Earth where alligators and crocodiles live together in the wild. Alligators prefer fresh water. Crocodiles prefer salt water. The brackish waters of South Florida create the perfect overlap zone. If you're swimming in a Florida lake and see a reptile, good luck identifying which one it is.
Do people swim in like crocodile infested waters? Is that normal?
Before it gets too close. Number 7. Key West is closer to Cuba than to Miami. Key West sits just 90 miles from Havana, Cuba, but approximately 160 miles from Miami. That's closer to a foreign country than the rest of Florida. During the Cold War, Key West became a strategic military outpost. Today, it's a quirky beach town where you're geographically closer to the Caribbean than to the United States mainland. Number 6. The state has 663 miles of beaches. Florida has 663 miles of sandy beaches, more than almost any other state.
Wow, look at that.
163 miles of sandy beaches, more than
Is this from Florida? That looks like Hawaii or something so pretty.
almost any other state. If you walked every beach in Florida at 3 miles per hour, it would take you over 220 hours of continuous walking. That's more beach than California's entire Pacific coast.
Also, that looks so dreamy, the road between the two beaches. I've never seen anything like that before.
Coastline. And Florida has it on both the Atlantic and Gulf sides. Number 5. It's the most hurricane-prone state in America. Florida has been hit by more hurricanes than any other state. 120.
Florida weather is crazy though. Like, this makes me scared to go there.
It's the most hurricane-prone state in America. Florida has been hit by more hurricanes than any other state. 120 direct hits since 1851. It's a flat peninsula jutting into warm waters where hurricanes form. Entire coastal towns have been rebuilt multiple times. If you live in Florida, you're not asking if a hurricane will
Multiple times.
hit. You're asking when. Number 4. The Florida Reef is the 3rd largest coral reef in the world. The Florida Reef stretches 360 miles along the Florida Keys, making it the 3rd largest barrier reef system on Earth. Only Australia's Great Barrier Reef and the Belize Barrier Reef are larger. The reef is home to over 500 species of fish and 40 species of coral. Dive beneath Florida's surface and you're swimming through one of the planet's most biodiverse marine ecosystems.
That's pretty.
Number 3. Over 1,000 freshwater springs bubble up from underground. Florida has over 1,000 freshwater springs, more than any other state. These springs pump out 8 billion gallons of water daily from underground aquifers.
Whoa, that's so pretty. Like, I want to drink this water. It looks so clear too. I don't even know how this is. Like, is this from above? Above? I don't know how to speak. Above? Is this from above the water? Look at how clear that water is. You can barely tell where the land starts.
Some are crystal clear, others are murky. The largest, Wakulla Springs, discharges 250 million gallons per day. Stand at a spring's edge and you're watching water that's been underground for thousands of years suddenly emerge into sunlight. Number 2. The state is only 20 million years old. Florida is one of the youngest land masses in North America, emerging from the ocean roughly 20 million years ago. For comparison, the Appalachian Mountains are 480 million years old. Florida wasn't even land when dinosaurs roamed the earth. The entire state is geologically still in its infancy, still forming, still rising, still unstable. You're standing on baby land. And number one, Florida has more coastline than any state except Alaska. After 17 facts, here's the ultimate truth. Florida has 1,350 miles of coastline.
It looks so tropical too. I wasn't expecting that, honestly. I was expecting the climate and all the vegetation to look similar to Spain. But no, it looks very tropical.
More than any state in America except Alaska. It's surrounded by water on three sides: the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico, and the Strait of Florida. No point in Florida is more than 60 miles from salt water. That's closer than the distance from Los Angeles to San Diego. Every single fact on this list traces back to one thing. Florida is a peninsula surrounded by water on three sides, barely above sea level, geologically young, and still emerging from the ocean. That coastline is why Florida exists as it does. That's why it's geographically insane. Now you understand why Florida is unlike any other state, because it's a flat, swampy, hurricane-battered peninsula that shouldn't support 22 million people. Yet somehow, it does.
With crocodiles and alligators.
These facts reveal that Florida defies every simple explanation. So the next time someone mentions Florida, you'll know it's not just theme parks and retirees. It's one of the most geographically bizarre and ecologically unique states in America. After learning these facts about Florida, tell us which one shocked you the most. Leave it in the comments. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe and give it a like so we can keep exploring how geography shapes the world. See you in the next one. Florida.
That was a good video, honestly, with a lot of interesting facts. Is there anyone living in Florida here? There probably is. I've seen some comments, but that's just crazy. I would feel very unsafe, probably, because of the storms and everything. That's crazy. The sinkholes? Hello? I'd be terrified if I was right now, this building was above some place where there could be sinkholes. I would be absolutely mortified. That's so scary. And the electrical storms, what even is that? How does that even happen? No, Florida is crazy. At least the weather is, but it looks so pretty. At the start, because I heard of the storms and everything on this video, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. That would be scary to go there, but it's so pretty that it's probably so worth it to explore and see. I don't know. You guys tell me. You guys know better. You guys are the experts. Either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. I really hope you liked it. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!